Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining me again. So I'm going to be working on my 000 protocol droid here that I won for the Galactic Model Contest from Bluefin. And I'm just going to pull these pieces out and sort through them here. Another nice looking clean kit from Bandai. This was a limited edition for the Star Wars celebration. And I'm just going to dive right in here and start with the head. They give you two options. There's a dented head, but I'm going to go with the clean head here. And I'm just going to start out by removing all the parts that are needed to put the head together. And I will not be cutting out right now the red eyes. I'll get to that later. So to start out, we got these pieces here. And as with all their kits, they just snap fit nicely together, nice and snug and tight. In fact, so tight, sometimes with some of these kits, if I need to pull them apart, it can actually be difficult to pull them apart. They fit together so snug. But anyway, we got this piece here in this little area that attaches for the front face to attach to. But I'm planning on lighting this, so I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to run LEDs and wires into the head here. So I have this SMD LED. It's an 0402 warm white LED. And I'm planning on having it inside the little eye sockets here. So I'm going to have to remove some portion here in the center of the head and drill out here so that my SMD LED will fit inside the head. So I've trenched out a little area here in the center of the head. And now I just need to drill on either eye socket so that my LED will fit inside. So I'm just going to take my little drill bit here and start out drilling the eye sockets to have room for my wires to go into them. And alright, I've got both sides drilled out now, as you can see here by putting the tip of my tweezers in here. And now it's time to run wires from my first LED into the eye socket. So I'm going to push it through the eye socket and out the hole that I drilled, and then I'm just going to pull it through and pull the whole LED down inside the socket, as you can see here. I'm just going to carefully pull it all the way through so the wires don't come off my LED, and get it so that the whole LED fits inside. And a little test here to make sure it works okay, and everything is fine at the moment. So I've got both of them inside now, and you can see how they're buried inside the eye sockets there. And now I just need to drill out this front plate here that holds the front of the face on. So I'm going to start out by drilling that out, and then I'm going to remove the little red eyepieces here and fit them over the drilled out portion that I've just done here. Alright, and then I'm just gonna carefully push these wires down because I don't want to pinch them, because they're so small. Getting pinched can actually sever them so that they won't work. And I'm just going to carefully put this piece over my LEDs here, and it looks like everything's okay. And then I'm going to put the front face on, making sure not to pinch anything. And it all went together rather nicely and easily. And then I'm just going to do a quick test, and both my LEDs still work. And I will be testing throughout this entire build, because you always want to make sure that you don't pinch and sever any wires before you get to the end. So now we have the neck portion here, and we have this piece that fits inside the neck, this ball piece here. I'm going to have to drill through the entire piece for my wires to run through. So you got the top portion here that goes into the head, and the bottom that goes into the chest. So I'm going to go ahead again with my drill bit and just start carefully running through the entire piece here until I go all the way through and come out. And as you can see here, I've got it completely drilled all the way through. So then it's time to put this piece back inside the neck piece here. And then I'm going to take my wires and run them through this neck piece. And then carefully attach it to the head, trying not to pinch the wires. And there we go. Now here we have the inside portion of the torso where you got your joints for your arms, and we have this piece here that attaches down at the bottom here for the waistline to move around, and I'm going to have to drill through there, making room for my wires. So I've drilled out a hole through the center of this, as you can see there, and then I'm going to stick that inside there, put these arm sockets on, and I also have to cut through the center here for the wire to go through into that waist joint piece right here, because I don't want my wires to get pinched. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drill out through the center, and I'm going to push my wires through, as you can see I'm doing here, and it goes right through that waist joint piece there. And I'm going to put the front on, and it all fits together nicely, and I can pull the wires through, and I'm just going to snap his head right into place onto the upper torso. And there we go, everything's coming through, wires are clean. I don't believe that they've been pinched or severed. So there's this front portion plate that just fits right over to cover up the neck. And then we have the back plate, which I'm going to put on. And there's the upper torso completed. So moving on to the waist section here where all the wires are, these two pieces go together. And again, we have the ball sockets at the top and bottom, and I'm going to have to drill through for my wires and cut out this portion in the middle here for the wires to go through as well. So I'm just going to take my drill bit as usual and just start going down carefully through the center of this thing until I get all the way through, which, as you can see here, I have now done. So I'm going to take my wires and just put them through the drilled out area here and pull them through the bottom. And then I'm going to take the front portion of the waist and attach it here so that the whole mid-waist section is now complete. And then I'm just going to pull it up through here and attach it into the upper torso carefully to not pinch the wires as I put it together. And another quick light test, and everything is still working fine. So now we have this other waist section here, or the groin area, and this piece goes in the middle here, and again will have to be drilled out through the center for the wires to go through. This is going to be a little different than the other areas because now we have this leg joint piece here that I'm going to have to deal with as well, which is on the side here. So I'm going to have to come out the side to go into the leg. So I've not just done a little hole, but I've cut out a large section here so that when the upper torso moves, there's plenty of movement and freedom for the wires. And you can see the hole there. Problem I have here is we've got the area right in here for the wires where there's not enough clear room, so I'm going to have to remove some more area here, which I've just done. And you can see when the front portion goes on, I'm going to have a problem with these two pieces pinching the wires. So now what I need to do is I'm going to have to remove a portion of this with my blade, which I have now done, so that when these two pieces are snapped together, now you can see how there's a gap inside here for my wires to come through. So as usual, I'm just going to take my wires and run them through the drilled out area and pull them all through this lower groin area. And then I'm going to take the front plate here and carefully put it on so that I don't pinch my wires. And you can see that I've got them running through there, and it's nice and loose and the wires are free. And then I'm just going to carefully attach and push the groin area up onto the torso area like so, and have my wires coming out the bottom, and it's all freely moving. As you can see, it bends and rotates and twists, so everything is working fine. And now I've got this little piece here to cover up this back portion of the rear. Put that in place. And we have these little bolt pieces that go on the sides that I'm going to now put into position. And here we have it all together, and LEDs are still working. So moving on to the arms, we have this portion of the arms here. We have the lower arm and upper arm. And we have this little piece that goes in the bottom where the hand will attach to. We have this piece here that will attach to the upper arm. And we have these little rods that go on either side of his arm, you know, the robotic rods, and we just snap those together here. And then we take the lower portion, and there we have an assembled arm. Then we have this upper portion here, which is the shoulder. We have a little ball here for the ball and joint. And then we have the shoulder piece here that covers that up. And then we have the hand here. We have these little pieces that go on the outside. And then we have his palm, which we attach. And then the hand just snaps into the bottom. The shoulder snaps onto the top. And we have both arms assembled now. I'm going to go ahead and attach those to the body here. And you can see how the arms are fully posable and movable, and how those rods rotate and slide up and down as you bend the elbow piece, and the shoulder swivels and moves around as well. When I remove these pieces from the sprues, there are little chunks that I do have to shave off. Not, you know, they don't just come cleanly off, so there is work that I'm doing here that I'm not showing in the video, but I just thought I would show that there is indeed, you know, some trimming and things that I do need to do for the pieces to fit together. So now we're moving on to the knee portion here, and we have several pieces here that fit together that create the knee joint, and you can see here how they all just snap together. And there's his knee joint. So here we have his upper thighs, and we have this piece here which attaches at the top here, and we have this little square that fits on the bottom. Now we have the lower portion of the leg, and it just has a pin that fits in the bottom here like so, and there's the lower leg. So then we take the thigh, and then that will just snap into the knee joint here if I rotate it the right direction. And then we attach the lower leg, and that just snaps right in, and we have a bendable leg here. And then we have this little rod piece that attaches to the side like so. And there you go. Then we have the foot, and the top portion of the foot just snaps onto the sole. And then the leg just pushes into the foot like that. And there's our assembled leg. And then we just push it onto the body, and there we have one leg attached to the body. Moving on to the left leg, I have to deal with wires. So the upper thigh here, there is a hole through this portion here for wires to run through. But when you put this together, you can see here that it's going to get pinched in this piece that goes across. So what I've done is I've notch trenched this out here, and then I'm just going to take my wires, run them through the trench out that bottom square piece, and then carefully attach the upper thigh to the body portion, and you can see I've got that done. Now the knee snaps into here, but you've got the wires in the way, so I need to drill out through the center portion of this knee, but then there's still no clearance for the wires, so I've cut out and removed the thickness of this pin piece here, and I've also trenched the bottom portion. So I'm going to run my wires through the hole, and they will wrap around the circular portion inside where I cut down the thickness, and they'll come out the bottom trench like so. So for the lower leg, again, I've done another trench here for the wires, and I've removed the excess plastic on either side of this circle here so the wires can run through. Then I just take the lower leg and carefully put the wires in position. Here I've drilled a little hole in the foot for the wires to come out the bottom, and I'm going to put the foot in place here. And then I've got my wires coming out the sole of the foot. So I also have this red gel here, and I've cut out little pieces here that I put inside the eyes to make them a deeper red. And I've also gone around the model with some pastels and just lightly done a little bit of weathering like you see here. I've just kind of grazed over some raised areas. I used a little bit of sand and mud colors to just do a little bit of weathering and dirtying of the model. And here we have the base that he stands on, and I've already on the bottom side removed a portion of the support and ground it down to hold my coin cell battery here and my power switch, which will go back here, and I will hot glue both of those into position. And then I just run my positive wires like so, and my negative wires to attach to the underside of the model. Then it's just time to run the wires into the base from the model. And I now flip it on and present to you my completed 000 Torture Protocol droid. So I hope you enjoyed this build, and hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.